Good morning to all my friends from the Greater Baltimore Tech Council. I'm Dave Sherman. Remember me? Spoke to you guys probably about 3 weeks ago or so, give or take a week. Some of you probably applied a lot of the stuff that I taught you, but there's a lot of you that probably haven't because either life has gotten in the way or the holidays or shopping or whatever. So what I want to do is I want to spend a few minutes going over 5 tips that I went over with you when I was with you, and just to kind of remind you and kind of refresh your memory so you can start applying these when you go to holiday parties and functions and such like that. But even more importantly, when the holidays are over and we get into 2010, you can start applying these to make sure that your elevator speech is better than ever before. All right, remember, tip number 1, be very careful of the buzzwords that you use. Coming from the high-tech world like you come from, many of you use a language, you use a lingo, you use a vocabulary that most people don't understand. If you are careful about that and try to eliminate as many of the buzzwords as possible, people will understand you better. More importantly, if they understand you better, they can do business with you easier, and secondly, they can refer you easier. So remember, no buzzwords. Unless you're using a word that you are 110% sure that everybody understands, eliminate it. Just keep it out of your vocabulary. Second tip. I'm sure that all of you have heard of this thing called the KISS method. KISS for a lot of people means a bunch of different things. For me, it's called keep it short and simple. Simple, 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 simple. When I first got into this business, I remember doing a program where I would say to people, this is my son, and at the time when I got into the speaking business, my son was 5. I tried to get people to do elevator speeches at a level that my 5-year-old could understand what you do. You want to keep this very, very simple. You don't want to get into a lot of detail. You want to make it simple enough so I understand what you do. Also, keep it short. 15, 30, 45 seconds at the most. I remember when I went around the room and listened to all of your elevator speeches, even though I kept you all to 30 seconds, some of you went on like you could have rambled on for a good 60 to 90 seconds. So again, tip number 2, keep it short and simple. Tip number 3, know when to stop talking. If you are talking to somebody and you meet somebody and they ask you what you do and you're talking to them and you can literally see their eyes rolling in the back of their head, that's a good indication that you want to stop talking. You've gone too far. You only want to tell somebody enough information so they are engaged, so you've grabbed their attention. That's really all you're trying to do. You're not trying to sell these people on your product or service. All you're trying to do is be able to give them enough information so they can make a decision whether they want to continue to talk to you and to connect with you. So remember when to stop talking. It is always better to listen more than it is to talk. It's that old line, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because we're supposed to listen and talk in that proportion. So that's tip number 3, stop talking. Tip number 4, if you go to a function and you don't have your elevator speech prepared, or you're a little nervous, or you don't know what to say, talk about stuff other than work. As I said to you before, networking is creating commonality and likability. Okay, if you spend more time creating those things with people, your elevator speech is still very important, but you don't have to worry so much about it. Because if you talk to people about, other things, like what you did for the holidays, what are your favorite hobbies, where'd you go to school, where are you from, do you have any kids, things such as that, this kind of information will create great connections with people, regardless of what your elevator speech is. Your elevator speech still needs to be done. You have to do it. No, for those of you sitting way in the back of the room that are sitting there going, yay, I don't have to do an elevator speech. No, not the case. Okay, you still have to have an elevator speech, but if you get stuck and you go somewhere and you just can't remember your elevator speech, talk about stuff that is not elevator speech related, that is not work related, you're going to be just fine. And tip number 5, biggest tip out there. Remember, it's all about the benefit. Benefit, benefit, benefit. What does your company do that will directly benefit me? What do you do? What does your company offer that's going to make my life easier, better, faster, richer, simpler? What do you do that's going to make me taller, shorter, older, younger, thinner, fatter, whatever the case may be? Benefit, 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 benefit. That's it. What is the benefit that you offer me? And let's see, what else can I tell you? There was one other thing I wanted to share with you. Oh, tip number 6. See, told you I was only going to get 5. Now you get a 6th. It's like a bonus. Tip number 6. Remember, okay, number 1 rule of an elevator speech, grab the attention of the listener. Remember what I said when I did the program? That if you do your elevator speech and somebody responds to you like something like this, don't ever say that again. Take the time to grab their attention. Give them something that they're going to remember. Give them something that they can hold on to and remember. Something that can, create that connection with them. Remember what I said R&R was? I don't know if I remember mentioning that in the program. R&R, remembered and repeated. That's what your elevator speech is meant to do. So, quick review. Tip number 1, no buzzwords. Tip number 2, keep it short and simple. Tip number 3, know when to stop talking. Tip number 4, if you're stuck with that elevator speech, talk about other stuff. Tip number 5, benefit, 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 benefit. Tip number 6, grab the attention of the listener every time you talk to them. Because if they look at you like this, don't ever say that again. I just like making that face. Folks, I hope you are having an incredibly great holiday season. I hope these tips will help you and drive you right into 2010 and make it as profitable and successful as possible. Hopefully, I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.